Hello. So today I want to talk about how at Confio we leveraged data available within a node to make debugging experience much easier, and we built a tool, and I'm going to present that today. So I am a blockchain engineer at Confio. At Confio we build mostly open source projects, and the most important is Osmosis. I am one of the WASM maintainers, and in the past also worked with some other projects like T-Grade or mesh security. So, yeah, debugging smart contracts is hard, and luckily we have many tools and testing frameworks available that make sure that our contracts do what we expect them to do. We have many tools available like interchain test, TestTube, CW multitest, Starship, and so on. And we kind of want to stuff all of them. We like to stuff all of them in our code base to make sure that our contracts are doing what they are supposed to do. Yeah, but that doesn't help always for debugging. So that's the problem we had actually while developing T-Grade. So T-Grade is a proof of engagement, is a chain based on proof of engagement, where most of the modules were implemented as contracts. So we ended up with more than 10 contracts talking to each other and talking to some modules, so that at some point it was really difficult to debug these contracts, because it was not easy to understand how the contracts talk to the modules, how the contracts interact with each other, and last but not least, redacted error messages that made our life very hard, because it was really, often it was difficult to understand what was happening behind the scenes. Luckily, this last issue was solved with Osmosis 2.0. So now all the error messages coming from contracts are not redacted because they are deterministic. And this doesn't completely solve the problem, because to understand what is happening behind the scene, you still need to propagate the errors correctly, otherwise you're going to lose visibility. So in this context is when we developed this tool that is actually collects and extracts data from the node and kind of displays them in a meaningful way, so that the debugging experience is really much easier. So we are able to collect all the activities that happen within a Osmosis chain, from storage operations, logs, events, errors, messages, sub-messages, how contract interacts with each other, and gas usage. And also we have visibility on the duration of each of those operations, and this gives us a really nice overview and really good performance metrics. So instead of settling with some transaction success message, we actually decided to take the red pill and develop this tool that gives a really detailed, all the details of what is happening within a transaction. Yeah, I'm going to go a bit through what we have built until now and how we display this data. So basically, we can see all the operations happening within a transaction. So we have visibility on the router, we have visibility on all the IBC operations, we have visibility on all the Osmosis specific operations like execute, migration, instantiations, and so on. And also we have really all the details of the gas usage. We can also actually filter all the operations that contain an error, and this means also transactions that succeeded, and sometimes they actually contain error or message executes that failed, and we are actually able to visualize that. and that is super helpful for contract developers. And yeah, and as I said, we display them in a really nice way. Like we decode all the messages, errors, and yeah, you have everything within one tool. All of this is supported by a set of filters. They also make this debugging much quicker. So you can search by transaction, block height, sender address, contract address, contract sender address, and all the type of message that you are interested in. Or we have also this specific tag that is error read true. That, as I said before, is the one that is going to show all the operations that even though they may be succeeded, they contain errors. And then also we have this filter that lets you kind of only select the operations that you are interested in. So maybe you just want to check some IBC packet knowledge, and well, in this way you're gonna find it really quickly, and you don't have to go through tons of logs and events. Yeah, so this one is a quick overview of the architecture. So we have an instrumented node. So basically, some parts of the node have been wrapped, and when the node executes the blocks, these data are sent and stored into a database through a collector, and then these data are exposed via an API and displayed through the UI. So we have currently a UI available at tracing.cosmosm.com. It's free to use. You can check it out. At the moment, we support only 3 chains. We support Kujira, Neutron, and Terra, mainnet and testnet. But we are looking to support more and more chains. Yeah, now I'm gonna do a short demo of this tool. So, yeah, so as I said, we have in this search bar you can actually select which chain you are interested in. I'm gonna select Neutron mainnet, and then here we have all the operations. As you see, 27. So it really goes through all the stack. You can see begin, end blockers, queries, execute, IBC specific operations. And then, for example, now I'm going to use this special tag to to see like all the operations that contain an error. And then I want to see the ones that let's check the ones in the past month. So 1st of May and results 200. Okay. So takes a couple of seconds to load, and yeah. So I'm gonna sort them for the ones with the most spans. That means they are the ones that are most interesting. Like this one has 419 spans and 6 errors, and yeah, we can see inside first of all the operations, how the flow goes through the transaction, and all the errors happening. Some of them they are visible even, especially if the transaction failed, they are visible in mint scan as well, but some of them are not. So here, for example, yeah, you can see the error and the query data, and yeah, gas usage and probably here not, but yeah. Yeah, I just want now. I have one interesting, example that I found like a couple of days ago. So, for example, is this transaction that on mint scan, you just get transaction success, and then here some logs that are mostly just details and contract addresses, but you can't really see any errors. And instead, with our tool, we found out that actually there was through all these messages that were sent, queries and so on, there was actually some errors. And with this tool, we can actually check how it looks like. And for example, so we can see what message was sent and the actual error. So yeah, this execute message failed, and there is this error, but was not visible on mint scan. And yeah, this one it has happened already a few times that even on production chains, some people said like, oh, it took me 15 minutes, so it would have taken me like 3 days probably to replicate this issue on a test net or in my local environment, because sometimes it's difficult to replicate a timeout, or maybe it's a moment where the chain is overwhelmed, and yeah, and some errors might happen and not you are not able to reproduce them anymore. Yeah, I will conclude the presentation just with a few words about our future work. So we are planning to release a new UI in the next months, and yeah, that is gonna improve even more the user experience for contract developers. And in the near future, we really plan to have and offer to people a tool that they can use actually in their local environment, and maybe support also some of the testing frameworks that we saw in the first slide. Yeah, and then there are just some ideas on what could we build with all this data, that are like some performance monitoring dashboards to monitor that yeah, your contract is performing well even after 1 year that you have deployed it. And yeah, and then like it would be great to have some gas optimization tool. Yeah, thank you.